Hey everyone, welcome into DomTime. It's that special night where we bring in some of the best pundits across the Delaware Valley and talk with them about all those issues we may not do a single show on, and there are a ton of them. And both of them are Jersey guys. And Jersey is very much in the news with Chris Christie, Cory Booker, metrosexual stuff, the governor complaining about his weight, or they're making fun of his weight. We're stronger than the storm. It's all there. Ken Dunnick is back with us. Ken is the founder and publisher of Jersey Man magazine, and Matt Rooney, founder of SaveJersey.com. And Ken, I wanted to start off with you. NFL season about ready to come our way.
It's time.
It's time, and one of your big feature pieces ahead of the game was Chip Kelly. And then we have the big concussion story.
Sure.
Were you ever concussed? You don't look like a guy. I mean, I can ask you about anything, so you couldn't have been concussed too much.
The easy answer is I don't remember. So I'm covered for the lawsuit. But,
right.
you know, as I explained to you before the show, back in the day, we ignored symptoms because we were afraid for our job. You didn't come off the field and tell the coach you had a headache.
Right.
You didn't come off the field and, say you didn't feel well or something, because back in that day, you had to be rough and tough and get back on the field. So I'm sure I remember coming off the field cross-eyed, dizzy a few times, and how many concussions I had, I don't know, but I'm sure, I suffered some, and, my wife would say I'm suffering the effects from them now. So.
But, it's one thing when we see a guy injured and you see Earl Campbell's a guy, so multiple surgery, can't walk. Okay, you may have to accept that, but not suicide and derangement and dementia.
Well, there's a link to the game of football and to mental illness as it relates to concussions. And, the crime is in the cover up, as it normally is. The NFL for years hired doctors that refuted the obvious evidence that football is a violent game.
Kind of like tobacco, very much like that.
Right. So they now realize that they were wrong, and they negotiated a settlement which, again, favors the NFL owners over the players, but at least it's something.
Now, Matt, you watch football, right?
Absolutely.
Do you feel any more? I do feel a certain amount of this when I understand the speed and the size of these guys today and what concussion can do, although they're knowledgeable of it now. Feel any remorse about that?
Do I feel any remorse about it?
Watching it.
Well, look, I'm not a doctor. I've never played pro ball, so whether or not a guy like Junior Seau, whether or not there's any relation to his concussions. Well, again, I've heard arguments on both sides of it. It's an important game, and it's important for America, and we all love watching it. I don't feel bad about it, but I hope the NFL takes a really measured approach in the future to making sure that our heroes do it safely. But you got to balance it. I don't want to make it too, legalized here, but there is some assumption of the risk. You're being paid good money, especially in 2013.
Well, now you are, yeah.
You're right. And I know that wasn't always the case.
Right. I want to talk about Chip Kelly with this because I've been a little bit critical too. It's still a violent game. The NFL has done some good stuff, but Kelly seems to can be much less of scrimmaging and practicing and full contact than a lot of coaches.
Well, I was at a practice, the alumni practice, a few weeks ago, and it was labeled as a full contact practice, and there was literally no contact. So, the days that when I went to training camp in 1980 under Dick Vermeil, we went 19 days before we had a day off, full pads twice a day, every day. I lost 24 pounds the first 19 days of training camp. What they're doing now really isn't training camp, but I understand there's a collective bargaining agreement in place, and the players have negotiated the fact, and rightfully so, that they're not going to practice in full pads twice a day for an extended period of time, and they have to have a certain amount of water breaks. And I think overall that's good for the game and good for the players.
Let me talk about body types with you, Matt Rooney, too. Let's talk about the.
I'm the ideal person to have that combo.
How's that for a segue? The Jersey race is reduced to one guy, ambiguously gay or not gay, and Cory Booker. Another guy, Steve Lonigan, saying it's great. He feels great that he has a scotch and a cigar, and Cory Booker wants a manicure at midnight. And then we have Governor Christie saying that his opponent is criticizing his weight again. The Barbara Blownoe said something. I thought it was pretty funny. The only reason they went with this company, or Jersey Shore, I don't feel like frolicking, seeing Christie frolicking on the beach.
Right, yeah, she didn't want to see Christie in a bathing suit, and I think most people would second that. No offense to the Gov, I love him. Most people wouldn't watch me in a bathing suit. But look, this is what happens when you have a Senate race or a governor's race like we have right now in New Jersey that, quite frankly, are competitive. So both people on both sides are going to take a lot of shots, and when you're taking a lot of shots and taking risks, sometimes you're going to say things that maybe aren't worded that well. I have no doubt that Barbara Buono did not mean to.
Oh, I think she did.
Well, I'm saying that I don't think she meant to say something to defame all fat people, all people that are overweight. I don't think she, hates.
Do you buy that, by the way? Now, Christie countered with, and I'll ask Ken this, because I'm not in that camp.
Right.
One of the reasons he won is Jersey has fat people, and when Corzine attacked him as fat, that's one of the reasons that he won.
Well, I think that part of the reason Christie won, if it has anything to do with his weight, is because he's a real guy. We live in this age of plastic politicians.
You have to be a donut guy, and I don't get that.
Well, maybe you can manifest it another way, but the way he chooses to manifest it's with his weight line, and it works for him.
What do you think, Ken, when you see that with Christie playing with the weight? How does that play with you?
Yeah, I mean, again, his honesty is his attractive quality.
Yeah,
I really don't think it has much to do with what he does look like or doesn't look like. So, but there is an esoteric way that people look at you, and if you're going to be president of the United States, I think
versus a governor,
I think that's one of the reasons why he's getting in shape and hopefully will look better.
You're our political guru. Do you agree that? Are we going to elect a fat president? I'd say no.
I think we absolutely can elect a fat president. Do I think that he needs to lose a little bit more weight so he can kind of dispel some of these notions that he may be a health risk? Absolutely. At the same time, politics is all about contrast. In the last election, we had two very skinny, plastic, smooth-talking guys. I think America might be ready for another Bill Clinton, circa 1992.
But Clinton
circa
pretended
1992.
to jog. Can Christie pretend to jog? If has anybody ever seen him jogging, call us.
Well, I saw him. I think he was in the South Plainfield.
He's a catcher,
Labor
though,
Day
and he's in the
parade.
Hall of Fame.
That's true.
Of Little League Baseball. All right, we'll leave these weighty matters, and we'll turn to Syria next, and a texting story in New Jersey that is unbelievable. Straight ahead on DomTime.